ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon. I'm so excited to be here with you. It is our 103rd Thursday together. Not that we're keeping count or anything like that. Oh, I'm getting messages from Adrian. Adrian, we're doing the show. I'm sure she's watching too. Hi, everybody. It's so good to be here. Happy Thursday. It is it is May. It's gonna be May. Do you love all of them? Have you been saying all those? Or you're gonna love May. Yes, come on, Jennifer Holiday. All of the fun. Hello, everybody. Hello, Christine. Hi, Roundtablers. Good for you to be here. Thank you so much for being here. We have a really fun show to you today of Broadway's best. Yes, we have Ryan Vasquez from The Notebook. Yes, we have Andrew Samonsky from Lempicka. It was announced today. You only have until May 19th to see Lempicka, so get your tickets. And then also Jeremy Alsop from Tommy will be here as well. So we have a big old show of Broadway's best, and I'm excited about it all for you. Yes, hello, Mom. Hi, Mom. How are you? You know, last week we all talked about my what do we call it? My favorite things. And we said we were going to watch Baby Reindeer. Well, that was my friend Carol Corso's idea, and it was terrifying. Stalkers are scary, but good job. Good job over there, everybody at Netflix, for putting this together and putting this out there. It's something crazy. What a crazy, messy show it is, for sure. But I'm so grateful that they're making art out there, and it's resonated in #1 in 100 billion zillion countries. So thank you for Carol. Carol was on top of it. We don't have a favorite thing today, but I do have a hot take. Are you ready? Here we go.
It's smoking.
My hot take is for anybody out here who is a fan of Broadway. Do you have opinions about the Tony Award nominations? Thoughts, comments, concerns? Anyone? Do we like them? Do we not like them? What's the hot take on the Tony Award nominations? Best musical, best play, best revival, best all that stuff. We're going to have to do a special roundtable episode on the Broadway Podcast Network to talk about the Tony Award nominations. I'm really honored, and it's almost embarrassing to say that we have spoke to 23 Tony nominees this season. 23 Tony nominees this season that are on Broadway have been a guest or have spoken to me on the red carpet. We're so honored and grateful. Stereophonic, as you can see, that whole group, they broke the record for the most Tony nominees by a play ever, 13. Water for Elephants and The Outsiders and Hell's Kitchen and all of the fun that the shows that are nominated, plus so many more of those shows are going to be discussed with us in the coming weeks. So I look forward to that. You know, every single Thursday we're here, and then Friday there's an exclusive episode of the Roundtable on Broadway World. And last week's exclusive episode was with Chip Zion, who was in Harmony and Into the Woods and Falsettos, and he's the voice of Howard the Duck. This week on Broadway World, tomorrow night, you can see my exclusive chat with Alex Hurt. Now, Alex Hurt is making his official Broadway debut in Patriots over at the Barrymore Theater, and Alex Hurt is the son of Oscar winner William Hurt. So it is a very interesting conversation about what's it like to grow up with an Academy Award-winning father and what was the journey like for him to make it to Broadway. Check that out tomorrow on Broadway World. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do the weekend review. Here we go. Well, we're my mom says it's cool and nice. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate you, Mom. And we're doing it. Sergio, I see you, buddy. Hang in there, my friend. You're doing a great job. Don't get in trouble, my students. We had a great week of being chill, everyone. It was a chill week because I have been to New York and did so much work in doing openings and all of that stuff. So I took the week and was home, and we rested and we did fun things. I went to the park with my little Sam on Sunday. We hung out at the park for a little moment there. You see him growing up, getting so big. I took Clarence to get groomed, which was a mess because he doesn't like the groomer, and we had a little run-in at the groomers. It was a moment. We cleaned my father's closet last night. Look at us in there. Look at my father. Look at my brother, how happy he is. He's going to kill me for showing that. So it was like life. It was a week of life. You know, sometimes you need to do life things. And so I'm trying to do life things. We're trying to get through life. It's, as Prince said, you know. So it was a good week. Are you ready for the weekend review? Let's do, we did that. Are you ready for the shameless plug? Yes, let's talk about the shameless plug. Here we go. Hit it. I'm shameless.
'Cause I'm shameless.
Well. We are going to talk about this pride. Are you ready for Pride? I'm ready for Pride. Pride is coming up in my concert in New York City on June 14th. And I wanted to show you a sneak peek of what it was like last year so you can get your tickets. It's coming up June 14th. Mauricio Martinez from Get On Your Feet will be my guest. You know, Robbie Roselle is going to jump up there and bombard me with his craziness at my show he does every single year. You can get your tickets at 54below.org. Some of you have already got them. I just heard from people who got their tickets today. I hope you can get your tickets and join me. It's always a gigantic party. Would you like to see an exclusive clip before we show it next year? Look, here's A. I told you A was texting me and she was going to be in here in a moment. Hey. You know it. Let's go. Here's my exclusive clip of Pride that you can get your tickets ASAP. Take a peek at what we did last year.
Last chance.
Yes, it is.
Last chance for love. I'm keeping you all. You're fun. 'Cause you got that friend. Talking about friend. I can't go on. No. It takes a lot to get them right when you're learning the facts of life. When you know your son, you fight him or let him go. Who would have guessed that the girl we described would be exactly what the doctor prescribed? You would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say thank you for being a friend.
I hope you join us. It's going to be a party. It is every single year. You're going to get up on your feet and you're going to sing and dance and live your best life. So yes, let's go. 6 weeks from tomorrow, June 14th, 9:30 at 54 Below. And I'm so excited to be there. I can't wait. It's always an honor and a joy to be able to be there. We are going to have a blast. It's going to be a blast. So thank you all for all your love and support. Also, like I was saying, tomorrow, Alex Hurt. Next week on the Roundtable, Tony Orlando. 100 million albums sold, 17 top 10 hits, 3 number ones. He's going to talk about his farewell concert, his radio show, and more. He's retired from performing. Tony Orlando is not performing anymore. So we are going to have a gigantic. Oh no, lattes. No, I took a little piece of it, but I watched the whole video. And at the end of the one song, you see me high five at the end of Alone, but I only have 90 seconds to fit it on Instagram, but it's really up on, it's a great clip. It's up on my Instagram page, and you see lattes do the high five, and it's so good. So we really will check out Tony Orlando next Thursday, and we have so many good guests. Like, I'm in awe of the guests we have coming on the Roundtable. We have Tony Orlando, and then Leah Delaria is going to be in Broadway World next week. Jill Eikenberry from LA Law is on the Broadway Podcast Network. Interview with her. Ruben Studdard's coming on. Kyle Freeman and Avery Wilson are the Lion and the Scarecrow from The Wiz. And then Len Carew, who you know from Blue Bloods or from Sweeney Todd. He's a Tony winner. Big month. We're going to end this month giant before we lead into Pride. So don't think that we have forgotten you. We are going to be here every single day, and we're every single day at the Broadway Podcast Network. Go to BroadwayPodcastNetwork.com and check out the show. Check it out. I'm going to send it to you. It's great. You got it. So while we're here talking about, did you have fun last week? I had a good inspirational time last week with Kiara Sheard. Thank you all for the people who watched us. We had a lot of people in here. 1,000 views in a hot second when you have a big old music superstar like Kiara Sheard here on the show. And oh yes, we are busy. We are just trucking along here. We just work, and sometimes exercise, and sometimes cook. And house life is the least. Yeah, you know, we're working on it all, and we're good. We're good. I want to announce. Oh, this is a fun announcement. Hold your horses for our update. Here we go. What is we talking about? Oh yes, Jersey tea. So the Jersey tea of the day is that June 10th. My show's on the 14th, but June 10th, I will be back with Margaret's Jersey Pride event in Englewood. And the new season's coming out, and they put out the trailer at Rail Steakhouse, which is very good. And there's a speakeasy downstairs, and it's really cute. And I've been there a few times with the fam. So Margaret has me back. So we'll be watching the show. That's her new picture. And we are going to, she works hard, and we are going to be talking about Jersey Housewives, and we're going to be interviewing people at the Pride event, and we will be having a whole bunch of talk about Jersey Housewives fun. You never know who comes to one of my shows. You may see a Jersey Housewife in the flesh, like an animal out of a cage at a zoo. And we are going to be all of the updates coming through to you till June 10th. And so I will be there. Make sure if you're in the Jersey area, I'll give you more information, but we will be back for that event as well. Oh, it's going to be good. Jersey tea of it all. And my hey friend, hey, I guess we could do it. Hold, please. Here we go. Hey friend, hey.
I'll be there for you. How you doing?
Well, the hey friend, hey really is about the hot take question, which is about our friends. And I saw that Christine just answered that I have seen many of the Broadway shows nominated for awards, plus follow closely through your show and other musician friends. Congrats to all the nominees. Some were left out, as you know. Yeah, some were left out, as we know. But congratulations to friends to our show, and especially friends to mine in real life, like Eden Espinosa and Amber Iman of the Lempicka team. And big shout outs to everyone who's been on this show for their nominations. You know, Hell's Kitchen has the most nominations for a musical, and Stereophonic has the most nominations for a play. Shout out to Appropriate for all their nominations. Shout out to Michael Stuhlbarg for his nominations. Shout out to Brandon Victor Dixon, who we love, for his nomination, Shoshana's nomination, etc. It is definitely going to be an interesting Tony Awards season. It is a lot of choices for musical. Illinois, Hell's Kitchen, The Outsiders, all Water for Elephants. I'm missing one. What am I missing? Illinois, Water for Elephants. I was going to say The Notebook, left off the list. I don't know, but there's a lot of shows out there. So go support theater and go see a show for sure. And today we have some people who are gonna be on Broadway, regardless if they're nominated or not. There's a lot of great people out there working. So go out there and work and see theater, and that's what the show is all about today. Yes, I was pretty happy with the nominees. There's some lot left out. I wish there was more space. I loved Tommy, and I wish that the choreographer and the lead and Ali got nominated. I you know how much I love Lempicka. I would have loved Matt Gould to be nominated. I think he's a genius. And The Notebook was brilliant, and I loved it. And I know it's a hard thing. Oh, Suffs was left off. Yeah, I didn't see Suffs. So that's right. Thank you for that. So we're going to talk now with some of our favorite Broadway stars. We start with Ryan Vasquez. He was Hamilton in Hamilton. He was, and he's middle Noah in The Notebook, and it's really brilliant and beautiful. And then we have Andrew Samonsky, who plays Lempicka in Lempicka. He's brilliant in this role. What an interesting role. And then finally, Jeremy Alsop has his first ever Broadway appearance in Tommy. We saw Tommy. Adrian and me saw Tommy, and it was really great. Peggy, hi. Both sounds great. Definitely 6'10". Met a retired Broadway star today who resides in Englewood, emailing her to attend, saving Becca bucks. No, don't have to. Oh, when is my big day? Well, thanks, Peggy. I love you, Peggy. You're the best. The 10th is free in Englewood, and the 14th is New York City, and I love to see my Peggy there. Peggy has seen me everywhere I go with her family. She's so sweet, and I appreciate you so much, Peggy. And Peggy has a great voice herself. My big day is next year, in May of 2025, so we have a year to go. We did some work on the wedding, y'all. It's going to be a good time. Weddings are an adventure, to say the least. Yeah, see, Adrian, we love Tommy. It was very fun, and there was talent, and they danced their faces off, everyone. Well, I love you all for being here. I want you to check out these chats. They're really great and interesting. I edited them for time. The full chats are over on the Broadway Podcast Network or on YouTube, and I'll see you on the other end. Here is the best of Broadway, the male star edition. Here we go. All right, we've been talking about this incredible Broadway season that's going on, and we had the chance to go down to the Notebook. We were on opening night's red carpet. We had a few minutes to talk to everybody, and we've had Dorian and Jordan and a bunch of the cast here on the show. So we needed to ask Ryan. Ryan, welcome back to Broadway. Welcome to the Roundtable.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you because your work on stage and the chemistry you have all together as a cast is beautiful. How's it feel to be doing this show 8 shows a week now on Broadway?
It's amazing. It's I'm really, really grateful. I've mentioned this before, but just like the impossibility of this moment like really weighs on me with the pandemic having happened, and you know, I've been working on it prior to COVID, and so there were so many moments along the way. It just felt like with so many shows, it was just going to sort of dissolve and evaporate into the air. And so to be here and to be just kind of grinding and performing it, like I'm so grateful.
Well, I believe I said to you on the carpet, I've said to the rest of your cast, to find good chemistry once is a miracle. To find it 3 times is really something. From Dorian and Marianne to you and Joy to Jordan and John. You guys' chemistry is beyond. What role do you have as artists, and how did the directing and the team of directors help you achieve the kind of intimacy that you guys share on stage every night?
Yeah, you know, what's cool about the show is that, I mean, we have 2 directors, Shelley Williams and Michael Greif, and with our choreographer, Katie Spellman, and the creatives on the music side, Ingrid especially, you know, it was really a collaborative process. Like you talk about this like comfort and intimacy, like that even existed outside of just the couples, like bleeding into the creative side of things. There really was a collaborative nature of what we do. I mean, like live theater is so, it requires that, of course. But even in crafting the scenes, like with our book writer, Becca, like it wasn't just kind of like get up and do the dialogue and then they would confer privately and they would say, hey, we're cutting this line or whatever. It was always collaborative. So I think the way that you achieve this sort of like deep comfort with each other on stage is by allowing people to be their full selves. And sometimes that means that, you know, like I'm saying, you know, I don't think he would say this. Like, I feel like he's in pain in this moment and he should be deflecting with humor because he's just, you know, whatever it is. And no one person has all of the say, which I think really helped the show massage itself into like this deep comfort with each other. Like I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I know we've worked so hard to make sure that people aren't feeling like they're shoehorning a moment or like shoehorning a line into its place. It's all natural because we created it as a group, like truly with input from everybody. And that's rare. You know, usually there's sort of a hierarchical thing of this is the scene you are given and you are going to perform the scene, you know? So I'm grateful for that.
Well, I heard that I believe it was John who told us that, Ingrid was sending songs that were not even in the show to build characters. Like there was a lot of material and conversation that you guys had to build the world that these characters live in.
Oh yeah, of course. And that comes with such a humility, right? I mean, like even songs that didn't make it into the show, sometimes I think a writer would be precious about that. And, I don't want to share that. I don't want to put that out there because it's some sort of less than, or it didn't make the cut. And so whatever, but again, like it's this deep collaborative nature and humility that allows for people to share things that like didn't make it into the show, but for context, or, I mean, there's a tiny moment that used to be a longer moment that we trimmed down when the actor who plays Georgie, Dorcas Long, and I are on stage together right before the song I sing Leave the Light On in the first act. And, she comes up and she brings him a few beers and they're talking about the house being finished. And he says, "Where's Franny?" And she goes, "Helping her dad fix the car." And it's two tiny lines. It never comes up again, but it used to be this longer moment about, her, I forget what the name of the dad was, but it was like, well, so-and-so's not her dad. And that was because we're meant to understand that Georgie and Finn, these characters that you've met when they're in their younger years, had a child together before Finn went off to war and passed away. And that now she's remarried to help raise the kid and all of that. And Noah's still sort of bitter about the loss of Finn. And like now all of that exists in these like tiny, she says, helping her dad fix the car. And there's just a tiny little beat of just, like I understand, though it's still painful to talk about. And we move right on from the topic. And it's like that seriousness that we took, in every little line, in every little moment, when that scene got trimmed down, of course you can see a director or a book writer saying, okay, let's just take it all out. It's too confusing, whatever. But it builds context and it passes by and just allows you to see the depth of a relationship. And if you're really listening in, you're catching the full meaning of it. And if not, you're understanding like, okay, these people go way back. There's some sort of baggage here. There's love amongst each other, but loss also and pain and all of this. So it's, I'm proud of how seriously the script is taken and how seriously we took the show, because I think it had the potential to be, sort of like corny and saccharine and like The Notebook, this like lush, lovey, over the top thing. And it's deeply human.
It is deeply human, and you will feel all the emotions and all the feels and all the goosebumps and all of that you could imagine with it. I think the work also, you have to give yourselves as actors credit that you read between the lines and really did your homework on the script and built this world that you guys, it feels so believable. It's palpable to us in the audience. So when you're here, get your tickets, go to notebookmusical.com while we're talking Ryan, and you could follow Ryan. It's Ryan Vasquez on Instagram as well. Go ahead. I said it's a good date night. It's a good night with the family. It's perfect. When you recreate some of these iconic scenes, like this scene here is pretty iconically done and gorgeously done as well. Can I be an nerdy actor? What is tech like when it's raining on you and you are dealing with getting the lighting right? How many times did you have to do it till you guys got it right?
Yeah, I mean, so we went to Chicago when we did the show in Chicago. Joy and I went on a day off to go test the rain, and like I'll never forget that moment. There's like a beautiful picture of us like standing upstage of it, watching it, and it's like there's as an actor, like you're constantly sort of suspending disbelief. Of course, you're always thinking like, okay, this thing I'm about to see out in the house is like not real. It's not really there, but I'm looking out and I'm imagining it, or I'm imagining a love between two people or whatever. But the rain is an element that is so real that you don't actually have to do a ton of that, which is very cool. It's one of the few moments in theater, I always feel that way when I'm eating or drinking something too on stage. It's like, it's real, like pretending to take a bite is one thing, but like it grounds you in a way. And so the adrenaline of like that moment, and of course knowing it's coming, the anticipation from the audience, of course, like once it starts to sprinkle, and mist on us, people are, okay, it's happening, that moment really just like sweeps me away every time. And so, I mean, in terms of the tech of it all and stuff, I mean, talk about a collaborative medium like live theater. Like there are I mean, everything from wardrobe folks that are picking out the exact fabrics that are going to be able to take the rain, every night, 8 shows a week, to of course, the carpenters and people who built the set, who had to create this whole filtration system to get the water to come and keep it warm, drain it down into the basement, catch any excess. I mean, like, the theaters have been completely, basically, I mean, remodeled in a way to sort of accommodate this thing, and it's worth it. I mean, it's so gorgeous, and again, like, it's real. There are people in the front row who are getting like like little bits of rain on them, and they're like, oh wow, it's it's not like it's not our best try. It's a real, genuine, like, moment. And so yeah, we've done a ton of photo shoots with the rain, of course, too. And so, like, all the time they're like, we're gonna get wet today, like, just so you know. And you're like, okay. But shout out to my dresser Herb, who is always there with towels and warming things up and putting clothes on radiators and all of it. Like, it's a group effort, and like, moments like that really make that clear, which is cool.
Well, get close tickets, get a good seat, because you could be in the splash zone yourself.
Splash zone, yeah.
Become a thing. Well, if you're looking at Ryan, you may know Ryan from, he was in a little show called Hamilton where he played, 87 characters. He literally, everyone in the American Revolution, every single member of that show. You may have seen him in Waitress. You may have seen him. The Wrong Man was you were not a nice guy in that show.
Yes. No, the Man in Black was,
yes,
he didn't even deserve a name. He was so evil. Yeah.
Jumping around and singing around, you and Joshua Henry jumping around and singing around, fighting each other around the stage. You have had quite and television and film, etc. You have had a lot of shows. They all seem to be on Broadway at the same time. And you have a history with many shows. What's it like to be a part of this season? There's a record number of shows opening. Broadway is alive. Actors are acting after, people are working after some crazy few years. What's it like when you walk through that stage door and get to do this show every night?
I could talk about this for a long time, but I will keep it brief. There are so many incredible elements of what is going on Broadway right now, right? Like, there is this huge influx of shows. Creativity is literally bursting from like every corner of every theater, right? There are big, huge, technical, spectacular commercial hits. There are these smaller, more intimate shows that are really capturing the human experience in one like super specific way. And people are seeing them. I mean, I think what's amazing is, I look at the grosses and everything every week, because like, we as actors do that. We're on Broadway. We got to see that our jobs are secure or not, right? I mean, just for the truth of it. And these shows are selling out. I mean, like, people are seeing these shows by the thousands, right? And it's amazing. And really, so I was involved in Water for Elephants out of town, and I've been involved with The Outsiders since actually before I was ever involved in The Notebook. That's the longest one, since 2019. And I mean, the hardest part about saying goodbye to those shows and having to choose one is, of course, like the community of people. So the blessing abundant, which is the fact that all 3 of those shows are on the same corner on 45th Street, is just like an embarrassment of riches. So I get to still connect with the people, which is amazing. But also people say, this never happens, but I think the reason it's happening now is, of course, from like the hard work and the fact that I was involved in these things, but also because there was such a backlog of so much creativity during the pandemic that people turned to create these things that they wanted people to see, and worked really hard on them to get them ready for a time when people could see them. And I'm grateful to be a part of like a renaissance of theater on Broadway, especially right now, where there is something for everybody. It's all artistically taking a big swing. It's not just a cash cow, something to get people in seats and hopefully they'll see something else. I mean, these shows are challenging audiences, even the adaptations, The Notebook, The Outsiders, Water for Elephants. I mean, these are not regurgitations of the source material in some bland way. This is a real effort to create something. And so I've also been really impressed, and this is the last thing I'll say, the truth is it's scary, because there are all these shows that are open and not all of them are going to run for 5 years. That's just the market and the facts of it. And so that is kind of on that like base hierarchy of needs, like the bottom of the pyramid. Like, are you going to have work? Are you going to have healthcare? Like, these are real issues, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've been so impressed by people being able to table that, even if it's just for a few hours in the theater. So many people from other shows have come and seen our shows. I've taken every Sunday evening, every Monday off that I'm not doing something else for The Notebook to go see something else, and not just the shows I was in prior, but other things. And I'm blown away by the fact that in this season where you could turn to fear in terms of, oh, I'm kind of hoping that thing fails because it means that there are more audience members for me to sort of soak up, and that people are instead turning to like the abundance of the season and celebrating everything. It makes me emotional genuinely, because I think it's a real sea change from maybe before the pandemic, before we started looking so introspectively at our business and at art and the creative side of things, that it's not zero sum. Like, there is an audience for everything. The people who love and go see Lempicka over and over and over again aren't probably going to see another show over and over and over again, but they are going to see that thing at least once, because the people in a show like Lempicka are loud about supporting other shows. And I'm proud of our industry for that.
Well, I'm sure that everybody that's been a part of the shows that you've been a part in appreciate that, and you've helped.
I hope so.
You've helped mold the season, and you really are doing such beautiful work as a cast and as a creative team over there at The Notebook. It is gorgeous. It really is a beautiful evening of theater. I want everybody that's watching right now, go to notebookmusical.com. Make sure you check it out. Like I said, it's the perfect night out. So go have a drink and have a little meal with somebody you care about, and then head on over and see a beautiful evening of theater. Ryan, we're excited for this beautiful run. We're excited for what's to come. And we're excited to see you all through this crazy award season and this Broadway season together. Congratulations. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
With some of my favorite Broadway stars, I've seen Andrew in Williamstown. I've seen Andrew in La Jolla. I've seen Lempicka before it was even a show. It was in front of the Avenue Q set at a theater workshop years and years ago. I love this show, and it was opened. We got to chat with Andrew, but now we get to deep dive. We get to talk about the Dodgers and his allergies and living in Salt Lake City. We're going to go with his wife, who's a superstar. We're going to go deep, much more than just Lempicka here. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Well, firstly, and you're gone. No, firstly, congratulations on all things Lempicka. If people want to get their tickets, go to lempickamusical.com. You guys made some noise this week with Marianne. The first time she got to play Lempicka. How was it?
Oh my God, incredible! Yeah, our standby for Lempicka, Marianne Torres, went on yesterday for both shows. It's the first time anyone other than Eden has played Lempicka in a production. And she killed it. I mean, if anyone knows Marianne, she's a former Elphaba, and her voice is ridiculous. And to step in with no rehearsal into this role, it's a heroic thing she did, and she killed it. So it was very exciting.
Yes, and you all are singing, but that Lempicka track sings from the
nonstop.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure it was riveting. You had your journey to the show. You've been with the show for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 6 years.
Ooh, wow. So now that you're up there on Broadway and you get to kind of settle, I know you had a nice run in La Jolla, you had a run in Williamstown, but now that you're there and you've had this process to go through the show and be with it, how has it been every night now that there's an audience and the reaction of the show at the end of the night?
You know, it's thrilling. It really is. I mean, I really feel like we're doing something that Broadway has never seen. It's a wholly original musical about a real person. The music, the design, the subject matter that we go through, it's an epic feast for the stage. And you can feel it from the audience every night. Really, it is thrilling. It's a musical that challenges you. I mean, it's thrilling, it's entertaining, but it challenges you. It's subject matter, and you feel it from the audience. I mean, just to see the tears streaming down people's faces, you've done your job. You've given people an experience. I often, go out the stage door and the reaction is, you've given me a lot to digest. Like, I need to sit with this show, and I love hearing that. I mean, I think that's theater at its best. So we're all very, very proud. It's exciting.
Well, I saw it when I went to the dress. When I went to the invited dress, my cousin was with me, and when we ended it, she had never seen it. She didn't know what it was about, and then she had all these questions like, "Who's the good person? Who's the bad person? Is this right? Is this wrong?" And that's the point.
That's the point. These are real people, with flaws and virtues, who've made good choices and very bad choices, just like we all do.
Sure.
I mean, it's easy to compartmentalize things into good and bad, but that's not the human experience. It just really isn't. We all are having our struggles and fears and successes and failures, and all these characters, not just Lempicka, but all of them are just rich, real human beings up on that stage. So it's a real honor to play my part, the husband of Lempicka, and they have a very complicated marriage, which I love as well, as most marriages are. So it's just a thrill, to kind of put a mirror up to life, and kind of ask those deep questions that I think we all need to ask.
Well, your voice is beautiful. Your voice with Eden and your voice then with Amber is so crazy. It's beautiful. The blends of those voices. Andrew, I have to be honest. I think Lempicka stuck around. The second you don't go work in the bank, I might pack my stuff and be out. I'm just letting you know, Andrew. Look, somebody's got to pay the bills around here.
Hey, I'm not saying I'm the greatest husband in the world, but I mean, you come see the show and my character, he struggles for a while, but to his credit, as a man of his time, he does his best to push through the old cultural kind of norms of his time to grow, to be better, as they're all doing, and that's what I really love about him. But yeah, Amber and Eden, their characters, I mean, just they light up the stage, and mine's certainly more conservative, but I think there's an important story there too. I mean, I think there's a part of our world and population that gets stuck, and what do we do when the world is changing around us more quickly than we want it to? And I think those are important questions too. So yeah,
absolutely. It's really exciting and riveting theater, and go to the Longacre and check it out. You're no stranger to Broadway. I mean, we may have seen, this is a little South Pacific throwback.
Oh yeah.
And you have Mystery of Edwin Drood, and then toured. You did Come From Away around the country.
Mm-hmm.
When was the moment that you realized, like, maybe this is the life for me? I have the bug. I want to go into acting and theater.
Oh gosh, I mean, that's a great question. I was not a theater kid growing up. It really wasn't until college where I really could not think of anything else to do. And an old voice teacher of mine, I think you might have the ability to do this as a career. And even then, I was an opera major, and it wasn't quite my jam eventually. And I was like, maybe it's more musical theater. And I got to New York, just like, I can do this, right? I mean, if I can just, I don't know. It was like, it was so far away, but yet like accessible at the same time. And I was I was waiting tables and all that good stuff. And I finally got this tour of Disney's On the Record. I mean, the diehard fans will know that this tour of this kind of Disney jukebox musical went around, and it was my first big job, and I made some money, and I saw the country, and I mean, it's a fabulous life when you're working. It's hard when you're not, but it really came down to I couldn't think of anything else to do, and so it was out of desperation. Well, I guess I better make this work, and I've been very fortunate. So yeah.
Well, we love that voice, and we love all of the acting choices, and your whole house be full of singers. I mean, your wife Kate is you got to see her on the red carpet in that Lempicka opening night video, and 45 minutes of great interviews with the cast creative, and then all the VIP guests. Like your wife, she sings her teeth out.
I mean, listen, I mean, I'm just trying to keep up. I mean, she's the most charming, joyous, talented person out there. I don't know how I roped her in, but yeah, I mean, our son, we have a 6-year-old son, Luke, and you know, I mean, he's surrounded by us theater geeks, and I don't know what's going to happen with him, but he certainly has the drama of his parents. He's got the range of his mother currently, and as Kate likes to say, the lung power of his father. So it's very high and it's very loud. We'll see if there's a market for that when he gets older.
I'm sure there is. I've joked about the Dodgers and seafood and allergy and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Just you were on. There was 10 facts. I learned so much about you, Andrew, and the 10 facts about your life on justjared.com. And you found out that Luke, not named after Star Wars Luke, allegedly.
No, not initially. I'm telling the truth when I say we did not have a name for him for 48 hours, and Kate, in a moment of, I don't know, genius, said, I think it might be Luke. And I said, yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go with Luke. And the second I said that, I looked down at my shirt and I had a Star Wars shirt on. And I was like, well, there it is. I mean, it's destiny. But we did not initially, in that first second, we did not name him because of Star Wars. But it's, I mean, how much have I loved just saying, Luke, I am your father, over and over and over.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
It's going to be forever. That's so brilliant. You made the choice to live. You've lived out in Salt Lake City for like a couple of years now.
For the last 4 years, because Kate has been shooting High School Musical, the series out there in Utah. And so we just all, have stayed there. We have loved it. It's so beautiful. Our kid is in school there. But the show has come to a close. We don't know what our next move is, but yeah, Utah. Who would ever thought we'd be living in Utah? But we've loved it. It's beautiful.
Is it a big adjustment then to like be in the middle of New York City and be walking down Times Square every single day?
Honestly, at first it was. I mean, just literally walking the streets. I had to get my walking legs back under me. It's a real thing. It took me a week to kind of like, oh, like my legs, why am I so tired every day? And but yeah, it's an adjustment. I mean, I've always loved this city and I've lived here off and on for many years. But it's always an adjustment coming back, especially from a place like Utah, which is, I mean, the antithesis of great big wide open spaces. So
Absolutely. Well, Andrew, I think we'd get along fine as long as we don't talk about baseball, because and
we don't have to talk about baseball.
And I've never seen a Star Wars movie except for the first one.
That's enough. That's all you need. That's all you need.
The classics.
That's the best one.
But I love Lempicka, and I'll come see that weekly. I mean, there are things that I could make up for this.
We have plenty to connect on. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. When I saw Andrew on the red carpet, my big question, and I'm still going to press this issue. I may ask Matt Gould. I may talk to Cody, your stage manager. I want to go in the trap door under the stage when Andrew is imprisoned. If you've seen Lempicka, if you haven't, go get a ticket. What is going on down there? I want to know about it.
I mean, I don't want to give up the magic, but there's a lot going on down there. The Longacre Theater does not have a lot of backstage space. And so when you're coming up and down those stairs, you're in the midst of a lot of other stuff going on, let me tell you. And I'll leave it at that. It's like music, hair, sound, stage management. I mean, there's a lot of activity underneath the stage.
Well, Beth Level told me that she has worked at the Longacre many a show. And
sure.
There's so many stairs in Lempicka and secret that she found alleyways and passageways that she never knew existed.
I counted it up. I climbed 42 flights of stairs during the course of one show. And that's no joke.
So a Wednesday, 2-show day, you're going
84 flights.
Wow. Andrew, you're ready you're going to run a marathon when this is over. You're ready.
Somehow it doesn't get any easier. I'm waiting for the day it gets easier, and it has not arrived. So I'm not sure what's happening there. Maybe I need to eat more Wheaties, but yeah, it's I mean, it definitely keeps your blood pumping, that's for sure.
And see, everyone, when you see Lempicka, he smiles. It's exhausting to put on a stern face for two hours.
It is.
So it takes a lot of energy to act with this. So look at those pearly whites smiling. See,
you gotta. I mean, listen. I'm not gonna lie. Like laughing and crying, they come back to each other on the emotional spectrum. So, a lot of laughing, a lot of crying, I think is very healthy on either side.
Well, there's a whole entire community of people out here who this show has touched, and it doesn't matter what you gender, sexual orientation, where you are. I mean, there's something about humanity in this show for every single person. So head over to lempickamusical.com and get your tickets. Come on down and see the show. And you can follow Andrew on Instagram so you can see where he pops up next and what the future holds and all the things for you and your family. And we're fans. We really appreciate the work and the art that you're doing up on that stage every night. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you for saying all that. We're really proud of this show. We can really tell how it's moving the needle and touching people, and yeah, it's an absolute joy, and it's really a joy to talk to you about it.
I'll be back. I'll be back next week.
Okay,
I'll see you there.
Hi.
All right, you got it.
Well, I got the chance. I don't even know what to say because this show, I was mind blown. We went on a matinee, me and my cousin Adrian. We sat in like the front, and it was dark and it was smoky and it was moody and I was kind of scared. And there's this scrim and there's all this dancing. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, Adam Jacobs is singing and things are happening and pinball is being played. But what is really happening is people are singing their faces off and dancing their faces off. And Jeremiah, I don't know, he got off of a flight from Chicago. He landed on Broadway, and now his show's a big, giant hit. Jeremiah Alsop, welcome to the Roundtable.
And thanks for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
That is the exact story that I've told myself today of what happened to you. You got onto a plane, and you landed on Broadway, and that's it.
I landed on, and that's how it happened.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
When did you are in The Who's Tommy, which is playing right now.
I am.
And this is your Broadway debut.
This is my Broadway debut. It's incredible.
So you have done a lot of regional work, a lot of shows, a lot of work around the country. But I know that as a musical theater and a dancer and a performer, Broadway's it. So what's it like? How do you sum it up?
Oh gosh, it's it's everything and more. And I would emphasize the and more. Because it is incredible. It's all of these things that I've dreamt of are happening. And there are moments that I will never forget. Our opening and having the legacy robe ceremony and having all of our debuts. There are 30 of us in this cast and 16 of us are making our debuts. So all of us, every day is just steeped in gratitude. And we all know how lucky we are to be here. But it's also hard work. And it's show business, baby. So I've learned lots of things in the past few months. But it's incredible. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm so happy to be here.
And it is really a beautiful production. As someone who knows the song and knows about the movie, to really see the story and the way it's told on this stage is amazing. We've talked to your choreographer and we have talked to the designer, David, and we've talked in the past to Des. What was it like to work with this creative team? They're geniuses.
They are. I was so intimidated when I first got this audition because I saw the names of who would be in the room. And so this started last summer in Chicago at the Goodman Theater. And so I got an audition as like a local hire. To me, it was just like the summer show at the Goodman. And I didn't know everything that was attached to it. And I had heard of the show, but wasn't super familiar. So I went home and I found a nice little slime tutorial and watched that and was just weeping at the end of it and was like, I don't even know if I understand what I just saw, but I know that it moved me. So going into the room, knowing that Des would be there, who created this 30 years ago with P, and knowing Laura and I had auditioned for some of her other shows, there was a sense of anxiety that I had to get over. and then trust just with myself and obviously the whole process that something from the start felt good about this, and I felt really connected to the piece. So I just had to channel that piece and trust, like, all right, if this is what's supposed to happen, it'll happen. And if I have something that they want, they'll see that, and I just need to trust that'll happen. And I grew up idolizing Alice Ripley and Norm Lewis and Michael McKellar, all these people that got their start in Tommy and the ensemble and were cast by Des and worked with this team. So there was a lot attached to it in my brain that I had to release and just trust.
When this interview's over, one day I'll tell you about how I offended Alice Ripley, and I will forever be sorry.
Please, I can't wait. Any story of hers, I'm always down to hear.
She's a goddess of a voice. But she don't use the wrong sideshow playbill from the production she was not in, because she deserves all the mutual respect and love that she gets.
Absolutely.
But that's besides the point. The point is that this work that you're doing on this stage looks like it is some of the most brilliant daring. This choreography and the storytelling of dance, as someone who can't dance for anything, and Cheetah, a Cheetah Award nominated show now, and Lauren nominated for both of her shows on Broadway.
Congrats to Lauren Latara. She is incredible. I have no clue how she maintains it. She would be between our show and Heart of Rock and Roll and whatever is going on in her brain with what's down the line, and always do it with a smile and with grace. And it's incredible.
So what is a rehearsal room like? What is learning these steps? Like, in my head, you have to go home and look at it and practice. You're on the subway, do it. What is it like? How's your routine to get this in your body?
It's I will say I'm really grateful. A big majority of our cast got to transfer from the Chicago production, which is amazing. But there was definitely a difference in the room of both of the productions. In Chicago, we were truly building everything from the ground up, and we were the blueprint, I guess, for Lauren's work. And it was very much like, what can you do? How are we going to build this show around this ensemble that we have? Which led to some intense long days. And the way that Des works is that everyone will be called to every rehearsal. And so if you're not being used, you're watching and observing, because you don't know, maybe they could use you, or maybe you'll learn something that will be helpful to you down the line. But that also, means lots of long days for everyone, which helped us bond. And I think that is a huge part of this, is having our cast is full of so many good people that are truly there for each other. And Lauren really stressed from the start what an ensemble piece this is. And I mean, after seeing it, I think you can attest to that. Everyone is working the whole time. Everyone is doing something at all times. So learning all of that, it was really intricate work. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of time in tech as well, because then you build everything in the room and then kind of have to go back to one and restart in tech, and then go back to one, you start previews and you're putting it together. So it was a lot, but I think totally worth it. Totally worth it.
It comes across as, I don't know if this is just me, but it comes across like this is a very well-oiled but big machine. There is a lot of elements.
Absolutely. And it's nice because I like to say that it cooks. She cooks. This show start, the downbeat happens for the overture, and you don't get a break until the end of the first act. And the underture picks up the second act. There's no breaks until the end of the show, when we're all walking downstage, belting our faces off to you. So,
and that is a moment, without giving too much of the production and the staging away. This show is spectacle. It is a lot of new modern technology and great creative inventiveness. And then the end, you just strip it all away and you all just sing your faces off. And the place goes nuts.
It's so special. And I will say that for all of the work that it is, and all, as tired as we were, getting through tech and getting to opening, and with all of the press, truly every performance ending the show that way is so beautiful. It's such a transaction. It very much every time feels like, okay, now we've given this to you, and the way that people receive it, and that we get to watch that happen and watch them receive it and share those last moments. It's the perfect way to end the show, regardless of what just happened over the past 2 hours or whatever mistakes. It all kind of melts away when we share the finale with everyone. Yeah.
There's beautiful pictures you can go on and see. And of course, while we're talking, you can go grab your tickets to go see the Who's Tommy at the Nederlander. The Nederlander's pretty legendary space for
legendary. And so, yeah.
So what is that like for you to be there amongst the ghosts of and the history of Broadway?
It's incredible. I just am still the little nerdy kid that like grew up in a trailer in North Carolina, watching the YouTube videos and just gather, I was soaking up anything I could because this was so far away from me for so long. I really just followed my dream, and I can't believe it's happening, but it's incredible to like, I had the final performance of Rent on DVD and would watch all of those extras, and now to know that I'm in that same space, I'm in that theater and in these dressing rooms where all of this has happened is incredible. The story itself, I think, is pretty timeless, but this production in particular, I think it's a visual feast and an experience as opposed to just going to see a show. And I also think people need that right now, or people really want that on Broadway.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think it's as modern and relevant as ever. And I think we could take a lot of lessons from it. And yes, shout out to David Corrins and shout out to the costumes and shout out to
me and Serafina. But our design team is incredible. It's so beautiful, and we only know half of what's going on behind us. So it's getting to start to see clips and pictures is so cool.
Yeah, you need to, if you're ever out, come take a seat in the house because it is a beautiful feast.
Yeah, let me take a swing out. Yeah.
It is a feast for the eyes, this show, with a lot of heart and guts as well. And you guys are all working your faces off up there. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This is just the beginning. If you want to get your tickets to see the Who's Tommy below, you grab your seats. It's good. Mother's Day, Father's Day, something that our parents know, or a date night, friends, whatever you're looking for. And if you're a little like a little rock and a little edge and you want to come rock out at a show, this is the show this season.
This is the show, baby. Come see us at the Nederlander.
And if you want to follow more about Jeremiah, all of the Instagram and all the fun stuff is on the links below as well, so we can see all the more shows. Maybe, Broadway's revival of Cats.
The third revival. Oh, and I really want to see Ballroom Cats.
I was going to say Antoine Hopper and the Ballroom Cats. And also you're going to have to head on down and check it out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Congratulations. Welcome. Happy Broadway debut. The first of many and many. And we're excited. And thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you for having me.
How fun. Hey, Abby. Abby's here, my UK friend. Congrats to you, Abby, for finishing your career as a flight attendant and heading on for bigger and better things. There's Abby. She's here. And Christine says, Ryan, Andrew, and Jeremiah are shining on Broadway stages 8 times a week. So much talent. Support these shows if you're able to see these bright stars perform. Next week, the one and only Tony Orlando is here, and we will sing a lot of his music. Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. That's a bop. Twice on the pipe if the answer is no. Oh, darling. You're the ones watching this. I look forward to more fun. Check out Broadway World tomorrow. Everyone, you know what I was thinking today? Don't stay anywhere where you're not wanted. And this isn't about relationships, people, even though that's apropos to many. Where you're not wanted, where people don't want you, don't stay there. Don't give yourself away for free. Because life is short and you are valuable and what you do is important and who you are is important. And if you're in somewhere, if it's a job, if it's a relationship, if it's a friendship, if it's anything that's in your life, family, and you feel like you're not needed or wanted and people don't respect you, don't stay. We don't want to chase. We were at It is 2024. Why are we chasing people around? It is time to let it go. Let it go. Because I can promise you, when you let it go and you move and take care of yourself, miracles happen. The most amazing things will happen for you. I promise you. Sometimes a little fear, a risk, a leap, a chance. Take the chance. Take the leap. And at the end of the day, love is all that matters. You know? Love is all. Oh! He's so funny. Not you. You're not allowed out. This is forever. Don't stay where you're not wanted. Find someone who wants to be there. And I love you, babes. To all of you out there, see? Let go and great things can happen. Till next time, everybody. I thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you all for being here. Love is all that matters. And I'll see you. Yeah, Christine learned it this year. Not giving her business. She learned it. Lattes, you learned it this year. This is for you all. This is for you all. I hear you. I appreciate you sharing with me. And don't stay where you're not wanted. Go. And then amazing things can happen. Then you'll be in Detroit. My mom told me the other day, if I move to Detroit, she's going to pack her chicken on the plane and she'll be there all the time. So Darius, dinner is going to be on Mama Rose. She's going to bring her chicken with her grilled onions. You know, A knows. I've had to tell Adrian this lesson too. Now she's a married spud, living her life. There's so much great stuff left for you. Just take the step and take the journey, and amazing things can happen. There's more love than there is hate. There's more joy than there is sadness, and there is always more good than there is bad. Sometimes we just have to find it. The best is yet to come. Oh my Lord, Mom and you and I in the kitchen. Woo! Wait till that reality show. They ain't gonna let me in the kitchen. Who are we kidding? Till next time, everybody. In my life, the best sure is yet to come. Bye, everybody. See you next time. Bye.